Getting a climbing arm, it really allowed climbing to be more of a freedom for me. And climbing went from being kind of work or workout or anything like that to this almost Zen-like state where, you know, everywhere else I go, people look at me and they see an amputee or they see a handicapped guy. When I'm climbing, I think it's really the only time I'm ever allowed to just be me. And there are no expectations, and there's no politics, and there's no nothing. My name's Brian Doyne. I was an explosive ordnance disposal technician with the United States Army. I was active duty from 1998 until 2006. You know, everybody asks me, well, wasn't there some kind of epiphany when you were injured, or wasn't there some kind of moment? No, there wasn't. I was lying on the ground and I decided, you know what? It's obviously not my time to die, and so I'm not going to die. If I was given a second chance, I was going to take advantage of that second chance. I lost 40% of the muscle mass in both thighs to penetrating wounds and shrapnel. Obviously, I lost my left arm below the elbow. Had multiple fragmentation wounds across the rest of my left arm up into my left shoulder. The lower half of my face, I had a piece of frag enter above the left side of my mandible and exit through the right side of my mandible, through the bone itself. So, piece of fragmentation that I still have at the house. Entered below my left eye and below my ballistic glasses. Broke the lower orbital socket in 2 places. Rode the orbital socket, severed my left optic nerve. I guess a couple months after I got home and I was in the hospital, I was finally to the point where we could start doing the initial prosthetics work. And I got down there and they started pulling out wires and electrodes and computers, and it was just a lot more high-tech than I thought it was going to be. And I think the part that surprised me the most wasn't necessarily the technology side of it, but just how much care and detail goes into creating the really important part of a prosthetic in my mind, which is, you know, the frame and the suspension that actually attaches or holds onto my body, and the detail that goes into ensuring that, you know, it's fit correctly and that it's right for you and it's the most comfortable that it possibly can be for you.
The biggest difference is once you've got this closed,
I would have to say that if you as an upper extremity amputee are not as involved in the design and construction process of your prosthetic as possible, then you are seriously limiting your activities and what you can and can't do, especially if it's an activity-specific prosthetic. I work in the anti-terrorism field still, which is really nothing more than I did in the Army, just as a civilian now. It is easier for me to put together a circuit board if I've got a prosthetic than it is for me to try and do so with my stump. And so I guess that's really kind of the real use of a prosthetic to me, is that it fills in the gaps. Realistically, I would not be as advanced as I am, probably both physically and psychologically, if it wasn't for my dog, Sherry. She was probably, and to this day is still probably, the largest kind of support mechanism in my life. No matter how bad my day is, and no matter how frustrating things had been after I'd gotten Sherry, I'd get home and she'd come hop in my lap, and it was just it was this weird, just calming effect of being able to pet my dog and have my dog there. What is good about life? That is summed up in a very old Eastern saying: life in every breath, life in every cup of tea. The simple joys of life, like getting the hell out of the house, going out to a beautiful area, and whether you climb or just sit there, admire the beauty of what's around you and really look at it.